Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. More than 26,000 Canadians, including many Saskatchewan residents, are registered in Mexico as unrest rocks a major tourist destination. This was the view from Montgomery and Marissa Lewis's resort in Puerto Vallarta yesterday. What was supposed to be a vacation in paradise turned into a nightmare with burning vehicles, roadblocks, and violent clashes. The chaos followed a military operation against one of Mexico's most powerful cartels, with Mexican forces killing its leader known as El Mencho. Montgomery Lewis says while the streets are now calm, people are still on edge.
There's still not a whole lot of activity in the streets. And as far as we know, there doesn't seem to be any imminent danger, but you can definitely kind of feel the nervousness and feel the tension with the people at the resort.
Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister, Anita Anand, says she is in contact with her Mexican counterpart, who tells her that the situation should normalize in the coming days. Saskatchewan RCMP recently completed a traffic safety initiative in the Larange area with 2 check stops to remove impaired drivers from the road and remind other motorists of safe driving practices. From the 13th to the 15th of February, RCMP conducted patrols on Highway 102 near Walker Creek and south of the Highway 915 junction to Stanley Mission. 334 vehicles were stopped and all drivers were tested for impairment. Police issued 144 tickets, mostly for speeding, and 307 warnings. 2 drivers had their license suspended for alcohol consumption, 4 drivers suspended for drug consumption, and 1 driver suspended for driving more than 50 kilometers over the speed limit. Ground has officially been broken on one of Saskatchewan's latest infrastructure projects. Sandvik Mining and Rock Technology are investing $51 million into a mechanical cutting, parts, and services facility intended to support Saskatchewan's mining industry with a focus on potash. While Sandvik is paying for the facility, the company will be working with both the provincial and federal government to create capacity for specialized training. The 51,000 square foot facility will be built on a 155-acre site in the North Marquess industrial area.
Saskatchewan is actually the largest potash producing province in the world. So for us, making cutting machines for underground mining, and potash is one of the commodities that is soft enough that you can cut it instead of using drill and blast, it's the right and perfect place for our business to be here.
The building is expected to be completed by the end of 2026. The province has some big plans with Sask Power over the next decade. The province unveiling its Strengthening Saskatchewan's Grid Plan, which involves nearly $3 billion of upgrades in the coming years. Saskatchewan's northern and southern parts of the province run on separate electrical grids. Sask Power will look to end that to increase reliability and support the development of mining and other projects in the far north. Sask Power will also stretch new transmission lines across the province and expand interconnection stations along the border to sell power to Alberta, Manitoba, and the United States, which are on different grids as well. Minister Jeremy Harrison says the province's position helps facilitate the expected growth over the next 25 years.
I think we are coming to a point where really the ability of economies to grow is going to be measured as much by their ability to put power onto grids and move it as by anything else. And that is a significant change.
Harrison says Sask Power won't have to cover the costs alone, as conversations with the federal government have been favorable as it develops its electricity strategy. 3 people have been arrested after 2 people were held against their will in their apartment. Police were called to the 200 block of 2nd Avenue North just after midnight yesterday. One of the victims told police she was smoking outside the building when 3 people she didn't know forced her to go back inside and into her suite. She says once she was in her apartment, she and her roommate were confined to a room. The suspects then robbed the suite and stole the victim's vehicle. It was found nearby, which the suspects were getting into a cab. The cab was then pulled over, and 2 women and a man were charged with several offenses, including kidnapping, unlawful confinement, break and enter, and robbery. Well, it was pretty cold on Sunday. No help by that overtime.
Yeah. Okay, move on.
The sun came out today.
Yes, the sun came out today. The sun rose. I know, we're all okay. The sun rose and it came out and it was a relatively nice day. Temperatures not above seasonal, but we're getting there later in the week. We can tell you that, yes, there's going to be some more snow for the ski resorts out in British Columbia. We are seeing a little bit of flurry activity across our area, but the big deal of the day, this big old nor'easter that's hammering parts of the American East Coast, and it will impact Atlantic Canada. And we'll talk about all of those things later on.
A new report from the Heart and Stroke Foundation suggests many Canadians don't know their own risk for heart disease and stroke. Only half say they understand the warning signs, even though 9 in 10 have at least one risk factor. Those risks include smoking, poor diet, stress, lack of sleep, and not enough physical activity. Saskatoon's Cliff Marchuk is sharing his story tonight after what he thought was heartburn turned into triple bypass surgery at 66 years old.
It's surprising when you look back at my own history. I didn't know the risks.
Marchuk is now encouraging others to use the online risk assessment tool on the Heart and Stroke website. While some factors like age and genetics can't be changed, experts say 80% of premature heart disease can be prevented with lifestyle changes. Liberal MP Buckley Boulanger was in Regina Sunday for a clean technology composting announcement. Sierra D'Souza Butts explains how the composting facility will benefit agricultural production.
A unique waste disposal system was designed to help enhance food production on Cowessess First Nation, and the Government of Canada is providing funding for the Indigenous-led initiative.
I'm proud to announce $855,000 through Prairie Scan for the Cowessess Ventures Limited.
The investment supports a rapid biofertilizer facility planned for Cowessess through Prairie Scan, which will turn organic waste into compost and fertilizer, aiming to boost greenhouse and agricultural production.
We can grow our own food faster, better, and for our own needs at less cost.
It'll not only create jobs for people in the communities, both Pasqua and Cowessess, but it'll contribute to educating our youth in the full circle economy.
To coincide with the waste disposal bin, Cowessess will also install and operate a growing dome for year-round food production, feeding people in their community as well as Pasqua First Nation.
Hopefully we can scale up and contribute to our urban population. Cowessess is the biggest nation in Treaty 4. We have 2,000 members just in Regina. So we'd like to be able to help this contribute to feeding everybody.
In partnership with B Nature Biotech and Pro Metal Industries, the waste disposal bin will divert organic waste from landfills and keep materials safe from prairie weather conditions and wildlife.
This project is not just about composting. It's about building local capacity, technical agriculture, and economic in a way that aligns with the community priorities and environmental responsibility.
Adding 10 more machines are expected to be delivered by August. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders have announced how they will handle the limited spaces for the first year of tailgating this season, a lottery. This year, season ticket members can only enter the draw through their online account manager or through an email sent today by the riders. The deadline is just before midnight on March 5th. Those that are selected or will be contacted in April. Tailgate passes for the whole season are $500. Registrations are still being worked out with the province, but approved tailgaters will be allowed to bring their own alcohol and prepare their own food. The government of Saskatchewan is proclaiming February 22nd to 28th TeleMiracle Week. A flag unveiling was held in the Legislative Building today to recognize the 50th annual TeleMiracle show happening this weekend. More than $171 million has been raised since the first TeleMiracle, with funds going toward medical, travel, and life-changing equipment for residents of Saskatchewan.
The purple and gold colors represent the original Kinsman and Connect colors that were our kin colors back in 1977 when that first show aired. So it's a very special flag and very special opportunity to be here with our government officials this morning.
The telethon will run for 22 hours from February 28th at 7 p.m. until March 1st at 5 p.m. When we return, breaking down the final day of the Olympics, from watch parties ending in defeat to bringing home colorful hardware from Italy. The Canadian Olympic men's hockey team's devastating loss was felt across the province as bars opened early for fans to watch the game. CTV's Laura Woodward has more.
With Timbits in hand, walking into Regina's Barley Mill Brew Pub.
This is the lineup. This is the 6 a.m. lineup for the hockey game.
Early morning watch parties across the city. And in Saskatoon, Shark Club opened just hours after closing the night before.
If you're going to be up this early, you might as well have a cocktail while doing it. People are really intense about the game, so there's a lot of ohs and
I'm so stressed out.
Silver for Canada and a shared sense of what could have been.
First the Jays, now this.
And how are you feeling?
Terrible.
Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Despite those tough losses, Canada still had plenty to celebrate as the Milano Cortina Winter Olympics wrapped up. Speed skaters Valerie Malte and Stephen Dubois carried the flag as Team Canada marched in the closing ceremony. Italy handed off the Olympic flag to France, which will host the next Winter Games. Team Canada leaves Italy with 21 medals, 5 gold, 7 silver, and 9 bronze. The Milano Cortina Paralympic Games will start on March 6th. We'll get the weather forecast from Jeff after the break, plus a long-distance journey to raise money and awareness for a rare disease. So, Jeff, another round of the white fluffy stuff here on the prairies, but you said nothing like they're about to get out east, right?
Not even close. Yes, the nor'easter that is hammering the American eastern seaboard today and lingering into tomorrow, that is on its way for Tuesday and Wednesday for parts of Atlantic Canada. So, yes, you can certainly see there's lots of moisture out in BC. As I mentioned, some snow expected for the higher elevations. And, of course, that's good news for places like Whistler and the coastal mountains for that are ski resorts. And that snow will actually make it to some of the Rocky Mountain resorts in Alberta as well. But we're going to point over towards, the nor'easter is blowing up along the eastern seaboard. Places like Halifax will see maybe 5 to 10 centimeters of snow, maybe a bit more. We're expecting, obviously, the heaviest snow is going to be parts of Prince Edward Island and Cape Breton. So that's what's in store. But for the prairies, not a lot going on. We're going to have 2 rounds, 2 little clippers sort of sliding through, and that's going to be the big deal. You can certainly see that first clipper going through. That's what we're dealing with right now. And then as it makes its way fairly quickly out to Ontario and gives them some trouble, another one, don't have it on our map yet, but it will develop in Alberta and will make its way into Saskatchewan likely on Wednesday. So we'll keep our eye on that part of the forecast. So expecting some, some flurries, minus 21 overnight in Spiritwood, minus 19 in the Battlefords. Again, maybe some light flurries or periods of light snow. Minus 21 in Candle Lake, Birch Hills, and Rostern. Minus 19 the expected overnight temperatures for Melfort and Nipawin. On to tomorrow's highs, though. We've got ourselves temperatures are still significantly below seasonal. Seasonal being around minus 8 degrees or thereabouts. Minus 13 for Spiritwood, minus 12 for the Battlefords, minus 13 in Candle Lake, minus 14 in Birch Hills, minus 13 for a high in Rostern, minus 14 with cloudy skies in Nipawin, and mainly cloudy conditions in Melfort, minus 16 degrees. So certainly you can see those numbers there, but generally speaking, under cloudy or mainly cloudy skies. So tonight for Prince Albert and area, we're expecting about 2 to 4 centimeters of snow, winds out of the northwest at 15. So that wind will have some bite to it. So there is a risk of frostbite, and that risk lingers into tomorrow. Winds out of the west at 15 kilometers an hour with a daytime high of just minus 13. So again, about 5 degrees below seasonal. And then Bing bong. -5 degrees with a chance of some flurries on Wednesday, but 0 on Thursday, but then it drops off again. -14 on Friday, -20 on Saturday, -13 on Sunday, but back to seasonal temperatures on Monday. So all in all, it's a bit of a roller coaster. Sometimes we overuse that phrase, but it's certainly apropos for this weather forecast.
And if you're looking for another word, a yo-yo.
Well, maybe. I'm not sure if I like that analogy, but we'll go with it.
Perfect. All right. Thanks, Jeff. Another pair of wins for the Prince Albert Raiders on the weekend. One on the road and one at home that carried a little extra weight. On Friday night, Ben Harvey was +3 and had the game-winning goal on the way to a 6-2 win over the Moose Jaw Warriors. Then on Saturday, hosting the Swift Current Broncos, the Raiders outshot their opponents 34-9 after 40 minutes of play, taking a 4-0 lead into the final intermission. The Raiders would cruise to a 4-1 win, their 44th of the season, clinching the Eastern Division pennant in the process. Prince Albert is off all week before hosting Penticton and Prince George Friday and Saturday at the Art Hauser Center. After winning 51 straight games, the streak has officially been broken for the U of S Huskies women's basketball team.
The one here gets it up, and now the Calgary Dinos are through to the Canada West Finals.
One of the biggest upsets in conference history, the Calgary Dinos beat the Huskies Saturday night, 61-58 in the Canada West semifinals. Coming into the playoffs, the Huskies had not lost a game since November 2024. They won the national championship last season and went undefeated this regular season. Even with the loss, the Huskies could still get an at-large berth into the national tournament. Gage Grassick, a Carleton Comprehensive alum, was named a conference first-team All-Star. The Huskies men's hockey team advanced to the Canada West semifinal after a dramatic Saturday night overtime game.
At the point, gets it back to Kosher, stops, fires, tipped in front, rebound is there, backhand scores!
Keaton Sorensen scored the overtime winner Saturday night to help the Huskies complete the sweep of Alberta in their best-of-3 quarterfinal series. Former Saskatoon Blade Connor Roulette had 2 goals in the series, while Nolan Meyer stood tall for Saskatchewan. The Huskies will travel to Vancouver this weekend for a semifinal playoff series against top-ranked UBC. Game 1 goes Friday night.
By Damoud, ball loose on the floor, picked up by Church, and he got it back out in front, and it's put home by Zach Manns.
That assist from Robert Church was his 950th point with the Saskatchewan Rush, making him franchise points leader. Ryan Keenan had an 8-point night, part of a 14-6 convincing win over the Philadelphia Wings. The Rush are now 10-1. They're on a franchise-best 9-game winning streak. That's best in Saskatchewan. The Rush head to Buffalo to face the Bandits on Friday.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
A Montreal police officer is turning grief into action following the death of his father, who had a rare form of cancer. He's embarking on a long-distance journey aimed at raising money and awareness to assist others with the same disease. Sweeta Rassi reports.
Last year in July, firefighter Sylvain Berthiaume walked into a hospital with jaundice and back pain. It turned out he had an aggressive cancer of the bile ducts.
But after a couple of tests, the diagnostic is brutal.
His son Jonathan Berthiaume says doctors gave his father only 4 weeks to live, but it took less than that. Only 17 days after his diagnosis, the volunteer firefighter passed away. He was 64 years old. Cholangiocarcinoma, also known as bile duct cancer, is considered rare, says Dr. Simon Turcotte, a surgeon at the CHUM.
About 3,000 to 4,000 Canadians that die of this cancer yearly.
He says when it's caught late, chances of survival are low, but there is hope. An upcoming clinical trial led by Dr. Turcotte at the CHUM will offer patients a new and more potent form of immunotherapy to help fight the cancer.
The idea is to transfuse white blood cells that recognize and kill cancer cells. We take those white blood cells directly from a patient's tumor. The patient needs to undergo a surgery, and we expand the white blood cells to very large numbers in an incubator to make a cell product that we can then retransfuse to patients.
While it's too late for his dad, Jonathan is determined it won't be too late for others. In May, he'll embark on a long-distance ride starting from the Montreal fire station on Mont-Royal Avenue, cycling to the Saint-Damas fire station east of Quebec City, the very station his father volunteered at for 20 years. His goal is to raise $50,000, money that will go towards research.
My dad did have the time to make his fight, so I decided to make his fight for him.
Honoring his father 1 kilometer at a time. The clinical trial is set to begin next year. Sweeta Rassi, CTV News.
Brought to you by Saskatchewan Union of Nurses. Thank you to Saskatchewan's 11,000 registered nurses.
Now, Jeff, I don't know if you're a video game kind of guy, but I'm more of a sports video game guy.
Okay.
But I do know this next one. One of the most popular video game franchises in history is marking a major milestone. This weekend marked 40 years since the first Legend of Zelda game debuted in Japan. Since then, it's gained a massive fan base across the world over several titles, all focused around the story of a princess named Zelda, a swordsman named Link, and their efforts to protect the land of Hyrule from sinister forces. The Zelda franchise has sold more than 150 million copies over the decades, and there's a movie adaptation scheduled for release in May of 2027. Did you ever play any of those
I did
ones,
not,
Jeff?
but I have friends who did. Didn't the newest version of this come out, like, I'm going to say a couple of years ago, and it was just a massive hit?
Oh, there you go. Well, see, I remember the one on Nintendo 64, and everybody that would remember that one knows the flute, and you had to have the special combination.
What about Coleco? Was there ever any Coleco versions?
I forget now. That one might be before my time, believe it or not. National News is next.